Time Gate Moments. Welcome.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hi there everyone, and assalamu alaikum to any Muslims watching this. Please welcome to the channel as well as the video. You are watching Time Gate Moments. Now this short video has been put together for animal lovers, nature lovers, as well as an appreciation of our Earth's natural biodiversity in terms of animals, plants, and a myriad of other things out there, which are an embodiment as well as a manifestation of some of the favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us as human beings. This is in light of one of the tokens of the glorious Quran, whereby this reality, dynamism, and resources are articulated by the Creator of the heavens and the earth. And since the Prophet said, "Convey from me, even if it's just one verse, therefore let us consider this verse." And among his signs or symbols is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and all the living creatures he has dispersed throughout the heavens and the earth, and he is most capable of bringing them all together whenever he wills. Now, this verse is uniquely strange and outstanding in that it talks about living beings or creatures that exist in the skies above us as well as the earth down below. And remember, when it says living creatures in the skies above us, this is not referring to birds, because birds are part of the earthly ecosystem. Perhaps we can discuss that in more details in another video, but for now we are going to look at some of the creatures Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has scattered throughout this tremendous place we know as Earth. Our Earth is so diverse and scattered with all kinds of life forms, creatures, plants, minerals, elements, energies, and biochemistry. It becomes unquestionably and conclusively crystal clear that there is no other place like Earth. If you are a person of logic, reason, and a sound heart, you will come to know without a shadow of a doubt that the Earth has been created, organized, and set up by a higher force for human habitation. There will never be a landing on Mars. Why? Because Mars is neither a planetoid nor does it have a landable surface. It is just a star, an orb in the sky. Everything you have ever been told about Mars is just optic illusion and make-believe. The Earth is the only place and arena where life, time, and your personal experiences are expressed and realized. It is either here on Earth or the hereafter, which is unseen. Time Gate Moments came across something interesting the other day in terms of taxonomy, statistics, biodiversity, animalia, in relation to the distribution and categorization of living creatures as expressed by this diagram. Can you even imagine all the animals out there? Mammals, birds, fish, reptiles, amphibians, and even if you were to include human beings, only account for about 7% of the total distribution. The real and undisputable players are the insects, the spiders, the arthropods, the bees, the crustaceans, the butterflies, the flies, and the many, many other countless creepy crawlers one can imagine. They are like the spanner, the wrench, the plaster, the screwdriver, and the paracetamol within the Earth's ecosystem. This is the African civet, one of the unknown and most rare creatures somewhere in the depths of Africa, in the woodlands and forest of Angola in particular. As you can see here, the creature is a hybrid between a badger, a leopard, and a wolf, expressed by its brilliant markings, camouflage, posture, and fur. The civet is an omnivore. That means it eats anything, insects, plants, other smaller animals, bits and pieces, and whatever it can find on the forest floor, as well as on top of the trees. Indeed, a magnificent expression of Allah's creativity and mystery for whatever the purpose the civet is meant to serve. The African continent is also iconic and popular for its lion distribution, predominantly in the savanna and woodland terrain where they hunt buffaloes and gazelles. Did you know lions are the only cats that form and live as families, known as prides? This vast, magnificent, ancient, and mystical continent known as Africa is also the exclusive home to the elegant African giraffe. This creature is found nowhere else in the earth except here. Giraffes are known to be curious as well as closely related to camels. Our oceans, whether the Pacific, the Atlantic, or the Somalian Ocean, is teeming with life, colors, biodiversity, and places and depths uncharted. Nobody really knows how deep the oceans are, sometimes referred to as the Great Abyss. There, creatures unknown by name, appearance, and capability live and dwell. The Mariana Trench, situated somewhere near Guam, one of the Pacific Islands, is known to be one of the deepest parts of the oceans out there. However, in reality, even the Mariana Trench, estimated at about 7 miles vertical dive, is just a scratch of the surface, especially when you consider what is known as the Great Abyss, the dark, uncharted, unknown, and oxygenless alien world below us and below our oceans. Sometimes people say real life, wealth, and spirituality are associated with land, livestock, camels, cattle, sheep, goats, chickens, and what have you. Perhaps that is true. The fact of the matter is, the majority of humanity live this way, or even with less. Here on the right hand side, we have the herring, a large water bird, a bird that is known to take its time for just about anything it does, as you can see right here, slowly and gradually tiptoeing towards whatever it's supposed to do. On the left side, we have a pair of mallard ducks. The colorful one of them is the male, closely followed by the female, which seems to wear no makeup at all. Maybe this is just the way things are in the bird's world and the nature of things out here. It is the male that wears the colors this time. The ever searchful and fast-paced squirrels seem to roam about the place as if undetected. Well, except by the heron. The herring seems to be waiting for something, and so it waits and waits and waits some more. There we go. Could it be hunting a rat? Well, isn't that something? Or perhaps it isn't. A rat, which is about the same size as the squirrels, can be a handful tackle for even a bird this size. Or perhaps it is up to something else. Wait a minute, this is interesting. The bird readily poses into action, ready to ambush and strike at any time. Indeed, it appears to be very interested in the rat down below. There we go again. The herons are known to have a powerful, long beak for stabbing, pinning, and picking up the prey. And once again, it stands silent, vigilant, and ever more watching and waiting, just the way herons do. The pair of mallard ducks in the background seem to have been entertained enough, and so they make a move. Perhaps there is further activity further down the woodlands. This is the nature of things out here. As ever the case for this bird, Mr. Herring will just have to wait and wait and wait some more. Perhaps the rat will reappear very soon. Who knows? Plants, vegetation, fruits, greenery, and the blossoming processes of the Earth's ecosystem are amongst some of the things the Quran repetitively reminds us of. If you are a real man watching this, go and get your wife some good flowers like these and see what happens. Below and above the trees, the forests and the great jungles out there, monkeys, apes, lemurs, koala bears, and the many other tree dwellers make up some of the other groups of animalia in this tremendously vast and scopeless place known as Earth. Here is a zoological question for you. What is the difference between an ape and a monkey? Please leave your comments and suggestions. Did you know honey is the byproduct of bees visiting hundreds of different types of plants, herbs, and flowers, such as these ones? The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Take honey, for it is one of the best preventative as well as remedy for the sicknesses that may affect the body and the stomach." This pair of Egyptian geese appear to have been successful in their reproduction and nurture of healthy ducklings. Parent geese are known to be notoriously defensive over their chicks, so next time take extra care and feed them from distance.
Wollt ihr jetzt alle rüberschauen?
Bitte?
Was ist da drüben? Weil da
Hier
alle...
drüber sind Springböcke, Pferdeantibiotika,
Ach, da laufen die Pfleger gerade
und die
rum.
Pfleger laufen aber
Ja,
wahrscheinlich
jetzt
gerade
deswegen
rum.
schauen sie so.
Könnte
Jetzt.
ja sein, dass die was rüberschmeißen.
Aha.
Das ist
Jetzt.
ja eher unwahrscheinlich. Gruppenfoto mit schlafendem Vater, also Ellie.
Life and survival can be very tough for lion cubs in the wild, especially in the first 2 to 3 years of their lives. These ones, however, look very healthy and well fed. Their father, Major Leo, takes a long nap in the background. Besides, the reality of lion society is that it is the females that do all the hard work, such as hunting and raising the cubs. The zebras, with their striking and well recognizable black and white markings, keep their distance. They know any proximity means instant danger of life and death out here. The plains zebra is in the top list of the lion's favorite prey and menu option. Therefore, these zebras have no choice but to remain in the safety of the group. Together they stand, divided they fall victim to the lions. They must watch out for ambush as well as stalking predators such as lions, hyenas, and African hunting dogs. They must exist within the limbo for the chance to graze and the need to be in constant vigilance. This is the life of the African zebra, a tough and resilient vegetarian indeed. The ostrich, which is a cousin of the cassowary and emu, is a large African flightless bird which is only native to the African continent. This bird predominantly lives in the semi-arid and savanna landscapes north and south of the equatorial regions. Despite being flightless, an ostrich can reach a speed of up to 57 kilometers an hour, which is quite impressive. Significant numbers of these magnificent birds once freely roamed the woodlands and savannas of the Somalian region, but because of civil war, overhunting, and the lack of conservation, their numbers have significantly declined since the 1990s. The ostrich has since been identified by wildlife conservation as an endangered species. The African elephant, one of the largest mammals and poster animal of Africa, itself is a victim to hunting and poaching because of the insatiable human greed for ivory. A little bit of history will show you that's how countries such as the Ivory Coast got its name. The South American bushmaster is one of the deadly and venomous snakes out there. It does exactly what the name says. It is a master of the bush, an ambush. One of the worst things you can do is to accidentally step on a bushmaster and then subsequently get bitten. Even more deadly than a bushmaster in terms of size, attitude, and venom is the black mamba. This creature is almost like a transfiguration of black energy gliding through the forest floor, looking for something to sting and then devour.
Dun, 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 dun.
Snakes are ectothermic. That is, you have heard the expression, that is a cold-blooded killer, or a person, or a thing, you see. This is the banded blue sea crate, a formidable oceanic hunter native to the Somalian Ocean as well as the Indian and the Pacific. The snake is highly poisonous and a superb swimmer, gliding and wriggling through rocks, cracks, and crevices, looking for smaller prey such as fish and anything else it can paralyze. It will search for hours for its favorite prey, eels, which it will subdue with venom and then swallow. A male African greater kudu reaches for the highest leaves and foliage. After the North American moose and the African eland, the greater kudu is perhaps the third largest antelope out there. The codcod is a leopard-like wild cat of the South American jungles and grasslands. It is primarily found in the south and central regions from Chile all the way to Argentina. It is also the smallest cat in the world, literally standing at just 25 centimeters at the shoulders. Its natural prey include small rodents, insects, and small birds. The pudu, a South American version of the African dik-dik, only that this time it is much smaller, is also found in the Chilean forest and grasslands. Just as the codcod, the pudu is the smallest deer or antelope in the world, standing at just about 40 centimeters at shoulder height. In order to survive, it must remain hidden most of the time, using camouflage and stealth, only to occasionally appear for a brief or brave grazing, before it disappears again into the forest. The poodoo is indeed one of the smallest and one of the most shy creatures out there. This is the rare Chinese red panda. It mainly feeds on bamboo stalks as well as other edibles such as insects and wild fruits. It is considered to be a type of bear and is estimated that there is about 10,000 of them left in the wild. The red panda lives in the Yunnan and Sichuan provinces of China and is also found in the eastern Himalayas and Tibet mountainous regions as well as other semi-forest areas. In the United States, Mexico, and other parts of the world, public horse taming and rodeo remain a popular sports and activity for many people. The challenger must hold on and stay on the back of the wild horse, otherwise it is game over. Here, a chipmunk, which is easily identifiable by its distinct markings and large, adorable eyes, is a member of the subterranean class of rodents. And as you can see here, against the human hand, chipmunks are very small creatures. They are neither rat nor mice, but chipmunks, and are predominantly found in North America. Chipmunks prefer long hours of sleep, sometimes up to 15 hours per day. They are also known to hibernate and have many sources of food. This one in particular is taking the opportunity to pack away as much as it can from this generous human hand. Their predators include bobcats, snakes, birds, domestic cats, tegu lizards, and of course, human beings. So next time you see a chipmunk or a squirrel, try to help them out with whatever you can. One of the purposes of this video was to remind us to be kind to animals as much as we can. And that's it, guys. We end with our best friend in the ocean, the dolphin, one of the most intelligent and gifted animals. Did you know the dolphin is one of the universally well-recognized creatures of the ocean? This animal may have saved many people in the sea from drowning and shark attack. There are currently about 43 species, including the largest of them, the killer whale, otherwise known as the orca. This one is the most notorious, carnivorous, and the most popular for its black and white colors.
Hey, 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 hey. Hoi, hoi, hey, 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 ha, ho, hey, 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 ho, 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 hoi, hey, ha, hey, 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 hoi, hoi, hey, 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 hey.
A lone raven calls quietly upon a large tree out there in the English forest. Ravens have a distinct call that eerily echoes through the woodlands. Ravens have been alongside man since the beginning of days, long time ago. Did you know, according to the glorious Quran, when Cain killed his brother Abel long time ago, it was a raven that showed Cain how to bury the dead body of his dead brother Abel. Perhaps this is why sometimes ravens are associated with death, the graveyard, and gothic colors. Ravens and crows belong to a classification of birds known as Corvidae, which includes many perching birds. These include the Cook's kingbird, a much smaller cousin of the raven. Nevertheless, it is of the same species. There is also the rook, another brilliant black bird, very similar to the raven and the crows, known as the sentinel of the farmlands and the countryside. The nutcracker, another member of the Corvidae class, is a nut cracking specialist. It does just that. It cracks nuts that need cracking. The bird, although much smaller than a raven, can be identified by its distinct appearance, such as the pattern of white markings that appear all over its body, the black hoodie, as well as the raven-like posture. Another member of this class of birds is the jackdaw, a bird that is usually mistaken for crows. Well, they are similar, but not exactly the same. This is a jackdaw, not a crow. For example, if you are Chinese, you are not exactly a Korean, are you? You are Chinese, right? Now, just to entertain one more example of this category of birds, we have the tree pies, a beautiful black, brown, and amber member of the crow family. Now, this bird can be found in places across China, the Himalayas, southern India, and as far as Taiwan. This is a very shy, agile, and highly intelligent bird, very similar to the magpie and blue jays. As far as we know so far, this category of birds consists of about 140 species or members. A male lone cheetah, after creeping about the bushes and stalking his prey for a while, finally braces himself for the chase of a lifetime. He must chase and perform. He must focus and catch in order to eat for the day. It is do or die for this cheetah, and this is all he knows since he was a cub. As you may know, cheetahs, once they get into gear and full acceleration, they are the fastest land animal on earth, reaching speeds of about 75 miles per hour. Many people love and admire cheetahs for their agility, speed, and performance, because cheetahs are true performers. Their natural prey include the impala, the Thompson gazelle, the wildebeest, and wild pigs such as the warthog. In the wild, cheetahs have to watch out losing their kill to lions, leopards, and hyenas. A Bengal tiger patrols its territory and goes about its business, as it always does. The tiger is almost like a ghost in a forest. Now you see it, now you don't. Unlike the cheetah, the tiger is a hunter of power and stealth. In the forest, a wild bird, quickly and as much as he can, feeds on a banana. This is a great opportunity for such a bird, but it must feed quickly. Others might be watching. An African pin-tailed whydah calmly rests on a nearby dry, thorny branches somewhere in the African plains. The bird is a type of bird of paradise with its long, ribbon-like triple tail feathers, which are counterbalanced by a bright red beak. Only the males have these features. The females are rather less displaying, and we are not sure as to why. As you can see here, the females are rather much smaller and deficient in terms of color contrast and features. Birds of prey are amongst the most impressive creatures in the earthly sky. Hawks are closely related to the crested serpent eagle, the black kite, and the European honey buzzard. America's most popular bird, the bald eagle, calmly appreciates a good summer's day before it flies off to its next aerial mission. It watches over from the treetops into the distance for any activity, perhaps a rabbit or a small deer or something else.
Din 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 din
Dun 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 dun.
din 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 din. Din 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 din.
Dun 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 dun.
Din 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 din.
The Thailand grey-crowned crane is the first of our colorful birds of the earth. This is an illustrious bird showcasing color, size, hairstyle, and brilliant flyability and aerodynamics. An elegant male hummingbird quickly showcases how to pose for the camera as well as expression of his colors. In order to maintain their high energy, hummingbirds must continuously feed on nectar and fruits from trees and plants in the forest. Here we have the common hoopoe, which feeds by propping its long bill into earth and rock edges looking for insects. The colorful churaco, which is about the same size as a common pigeon, is another member of the birds of paradise. The bird is renowned for its vibrant colors, superb aerial flyability, and its unique forest calls and sounds. These birds are usually found in the more dense and green forest. The North American bison, otherwise known as the buffalo, are amongst the heavyweights of these parts of the earth. They share the land with others, such as the grizzly bear, the wolf, the moose, and the cougar, otherwise known as the mountain lion. Once upon a time, millions of these creatures roamed the American plains and open spaces. However, since the arrival of the Europeans, all that changed. The African buffalo is the equivalent beast to the North American bison. This animal here is one of the most aggressive animals out there. Their nemesis and only predator is the African lion, and even then, it is usually a long battle, 50-50 to be fair. The African buffalo will challenge anyone or anything: elephants, rhinos, hippos, lions, humans, and just about anything else that gets in the way. Their main weapons are those powerful horns, which they use to bulldoze and even stab. Once at full charge, a buffalo will not stop for anything until it destroys the target. Unless disturbed, a buffalo is usually a humble vegetarian that prefers to mind its own business. A huge giraffe somehow manages to kneel down to peck at something worth eating. Good opportunities are far in between, therefore why not take the opportunity to taste something new?
Ting 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 ting. Ting 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 ting. Ting 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 ting. Ting ting tang ting tong ting tang. Tang 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 tang. Ting 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 tong. Tong 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 tong. Tang ting. Ting 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 ting. Ting 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 ting. Ting 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 tong tong. Ting 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 ting.
This is the absolute truth if you are watching this, whether you are black, white, brown, yellow, or some other color. Allah tells us He created everything in the earth for the human race. You see, that's why you see only men and ladies all over the place. And of course, their children, the next generation, for sure. You must understand, Allah is the creator and the divine source. Everything else is creation and existence. It is a bit like the relationship between the benefactor and the beneficiaries. A small oasis surrounded by a small village in the middle of nowhere, and the two are watched over by the great sand dunes. This is the village of elsewhere, far, far away. Here, a spacious, windy, and mountainous valley gives comfort, inspiration, and temporary accommodation to a group of brave and outlandish campers, again in the middle of nowhere, or shall we say elsewhere. This is Earth, our home. A group of seals take a rest on the smallest island in the world, an elevated spot right there in the middle of the sea. Seals are superb fishing experts. They spend their days between swimming and looking for food, sunbathing, and social activities such as these ones in order to establish and maintain social order and who's who. They must also watch out for predators such as the leopard seal and killer whales. Seals are mammals, which means they give birth to live and completely formed babies, which they later have to suckle with milk, just as human beings do. Did you know, according to the glorious Quran, the number of times the word sea or water is mentioned in comparison to the words land and earth comes to a ratio of about 70% for sea and water and 30% for land. Check it out.
Din 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 din. Din 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 din. Din 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 din.
The European robin is one of the smallest, shyest, and one of the most underrated birds out there in the world. Nevertheless, the robin is one of the most intelligent aerial, bushes, hiding, and health and safety specialists. Just like that. Okay guys, that's it. Once again, thanks a lot for watching. You have been brilliant for watching all the way to this point. Therefore, if you did, congratulations. Anyway, this video was just to express and showcase some of the creatures as well as places Allah has scattered in the earth in terms of His creativity and for the human beings. If you like the program, tune in again for more interesting and meaningful videos. Take care.